Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2013 animated feature film, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. So this is bringing back all of our illustrious cast. Anna Faris is back as Sam Storm. Sparks? Storm? Sam Sparks. Sparks? I think it's Sparks. Bill Hader is back as Flint Lockwood. So the movie picks up 8 minutes after the ending of the first one, which is a very nice, entertaining fact. And how they actually, Flint literally says within the last 8 minutes, I've decided I want to open up a lab with you here on this island, to Sam. And it's very entertaining. So the Flintstermstormer, right, the machine that makes the food, that turns the water, mutates the water molecules into food particles, that has been killed, quote unquote, but it has resurvived and it's going to live, right? So the villain of the movie, his name is, Chester, right? Chester V. And he's a scientist and he's an inventor and he has this big company, and Flint Lockwood has been obsessed with him and he idolized him since he was a kid. So directly after the end of the events of the first film, Chester V and his company comes in and swoops in and says, we're going to help clean up the world of all the giant mutated food. You guys can live in my city for the time being till we clean it up. But he has ulterior motives that he wants to chop up and use all of the food that Flint created and the food animals that Flint created for his food bars, which is big seller, right? So that's the twist. Going into the film, the gang goes back to the island, and it's very much Lost World of Jurassic Park. Extremely Lost World of Jurassic Park. Checking out Isla Sorna versus checking out this, fooded out island that they all know and love. And so what happens next? Do you treat the food animals as these monsters that they are, or are they actual animals with families that they're trying to just defend themselves? What do we do? What do we do when we figure out the ulterior motives of Chester V? Well, we put the machine back together and we make sure that the island stays just as it is. That way the food animals can just live in peace and be happy and, save the day. It's very entertaining. It's very quick. There's a musical number randomly in it that Flint's dad sings to these pickle creatures. The memes that I referenced in the first review of Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs 1 is actually all about the second. So the police officer Earl shedding a tear, the cop Earl shedding a tear, and then sucking the tear back in, it's enough to make a grown man cry. That meme is from this movie. And there's a leak in the boat, that's from this movie. So I got my memes mixed up, but this is more memes than the first one, which I find very entertaining. It still withholds the test of time. Here we are 7, 8, 9 years later, and it's just still constantly talked about, that it's sophisticated humor that is slept on. It is slept on how incredible this film actually is, how incredible the two films actually are. I know they're severely different than the illustrated children's book, but it's fleshed out. It's got a life of its own. Anna Faris and Bill Hader's characters coming together was very entertaining, and it's just a great fun revisiting film. And it's Jurassic World, it's Jurassic Park with food dinosaurs. It's just incredible. Love this film, love the first one. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.